The mystery man pulled out a large knife, leaned over, and placed its point in the crack of Humphrey's arse. His bottom jerked at the cold metal on bare skin. His hard-on immediately softened. He let go of the girl's face and leaned back. She gasped for air. The mystery man pulled him closer and whispered in his ear. To those nearby, they looked as if in an embrace, a male-on-male kiss, a hot new twist to the occasion. "Get away from her now," the mystery man breathed, "or I'll slice your arse in two, old man." He nudged the sharp blade into papery skin. Humphrey jumped. "Get off me! Get off me, you nut job!" he whimpered, trying to get up off his knees. Others looked over to see what the fuss was about. Seeing the knife, some stopped chanting and took a step back. Some stood open-mouthed, dicks in hand, confused. Weapons weren't normally on the menu. The mystery man pushed Humphrey to the floor, then grabbed the buggering male by the hair and yanked him off the girl. As she toppled, he grabbed her arm and dragged her away from the confused male beneath her. "What the hell are you doing?" the men shouted. "Get out of here! This is a private party!" "Is this part of the show?" one voice questioned. The mystery man ignored their words and continued to pull the snivelling girl away from the circle. She scurried to a corner of the room, not understanding what was happening. Was this a game? Who is this man? Seeing that she was safe, he turned back to them, gave a shrug and a beckoning of his hands, goading them to bring it on. Open-legged, arms out, he was ready for the fight. They looked at each other, confused. Was he an angry pimp, a jealous boyfriend, or was it a new role-play game? They started to sidle towards him, forming a semicircle, giving each other looks, gaining courage to launch themselves at him. "What the fuck are you doing? Who are you?" they asked, buying time. Another yelled, "Call security!" which was quickly hushed to silence. Not a popular idea. They didn't want the world knowing their dirty little secrets. Ignoring their questions, he waited a few seconds for them to scuttle closer, then reached into his jacket and pulled out a plastic bottle of clear liquid. He flicked off the lid, stretched out his arm, and pointed the bottle's nozzle at their naked bodies. They looked confused. Aiming for the groin area, he squirted the burning liquid backwards and forwards across the row of vulnerable skin. The men stood in shock for a moment, looking down at their manhoods. Was that water? When the sting of burning acid took hold, they crumbled in screaming pain, with hands covering their cocks. Turning away from the onslaught, the acid hit their backs. Island put a hand to her mouth, trying not to shout out. "What the hell?" The men rolled on the floor, yelling for help. The girl, fearing she was next, crawled across the floor and huddled behind a sofa, her eye on the door. But the mystery man wasn't interested in her. He calmly emptied the last drops of the bottle over a writhing body, replaced the lid, and returned it to his pocket. With the men's cries getting louder, he walked over to the sideboard and turned the music up. Then rummaged through clothing, taking cash, mobiles, and small items. With tears in his eyes, he left the room. As she watched him leave, she heard a female voice yelling, "Hello? Hello?" It was coming from the suite's telephone. Somehow it was hanging off the hook, with the voice of a receptionist trying to get the caller's attention over the noise of screaming men and loud music. Security arrived, and all hell broke loose.